Hey guys, welcome back to a new Rise crossover video. Today we will be doing a shadow progression guide to get you settled into getting your first SS Beru. Let's get into it. Alright, to get immediately started, when you start off the game, you're gonna progress normally throughout Leveling City with the E rank characters that the game offers you. So you're gonna move from Sundu to Gunshi to Dek to Longin to Anders to Lagarligan. Once you've done that, you're gonna probably end up with just having Lagarligan because the end soldier only spawns at the raid island. Every single time at the 15-minute and the 45-minute mark on just your clock on your PC, it's gonna spawn a raid. At those raids is where the end soldier is gonna spawn. And that's where you can try and get the end soldiers. But what you probably want to do before you even move on to those raids is just try to get some higher ranked Lagarligans. But how do you get higher ranks? Now, there's only 3 ranks you can really just get from the overworld, which is E rank, a D rank, and a small chance at a C rank. An E rank is the standard rank you're gonna get from just any overworld character. A D rank is what you're gonna get from the brutes, which are the larger versions of the shadows. And a C rank is what you're gonna get at a very small chance by rising a brute. It's a very small chance. I wouldn't even, like, in most cases, try and aim for that because it's such a rare chance. I have not even see like a lot of people try and get that successfully, but just try to aim for the D version. So try and get some brutes on your team, and once you've done that, wait for some dungeons to spawn. In the beginning, you're gonna want to wait on a leveling dungeon to spawn, which you probably want to aim for a B or C level dungeon at where you would be in the game if you got some D rank characters. Because let's say I got like 4 D Lagarligans on my team, that's gonna give me 140k damage per second for each single one that I have. But if I do manage to get some B rank of those same Lagarligans from a dungeon run, which is gonna give you a higher max level, you're gonna be able to do 60 million damage per second by just increasing it by 2 ranks, which is a really big difference. So that's definitely something you want to try and aim for. So once you see a dungeon spawn, look in the official Discord what rank it is, or try and search it for yourself in the meantime. But really do those dungeons and arise those characters in those dungeons because they increase your damage output by a massive amount. Now let's say you got a full team of B or A Lagarligans. Try and move over to the raid island and try and get some end soldiers. Now an end soldier at A rank, when you got some Lagarligans, for example, at max level, is going to offer you 204 million damage. Now, Lagarligan at A level, at max level, is going to offer you 184 million damage, around that. But end soldiers give you way more again. And it's going to probably even make you able to surpass whatever Grass Village is going to offer you. So let's say you're done with leveling on Leveling City and you want to see what Grass Village has to offer you. Let's say we got an A version of Black Crow at max level. Now, that's going to already offer you 380 million damage. And an S level of Black Crow at max level, 3.67 billion damage. This is always going to be better than whatever you got from Leveling City. And how you can easily notice that is just by the damage increase in base stats. The Ant has a base stat of 41 damage, and even just like the first beginner few units at a higher rank are going to give more damage. Now, if you do have S Ants or like S Lagarligans, aim for A or S Black Crows in this case. Once you've done that and got a team of those, head to Brum Island. And honestly, you don't even need to do phase heal after this. This is how I did it. Let me tell you. Once you've got some S-level Black Crows, maybe even got a lucky with some dungeon runs, an A-level dungeon, for example, or a B-level dungeon, and got some doors at a high rank, what you want to do on Brum Island is try and hopefully get some Brum dungeons as well, but aim for the Light Emerald. This is how my progression went. I farmed a lot of Light Admirals, eventually got the 4 of them at all the different tiers of ranks. I made them SS, and when I had them SS at max level, they were giving me 58.67 billion damage per second, like each of them. Now, this is around like 220 billion damage per second from just the units from Brum Island. You don't even need to do phase heal after this, because what I did with all these Light Admirals is I went straight over to whenever the raid island got released, used my Light Admirals, and went to farm Berus. Now, why did I do that? Well, the Queen Ant on the raid, let's say you had a small chance of getting her like on an S rank and made her max level, she's only gonna give you 8.7 million damage in an S rank, which is not even that useful. Really, if you do manage to get a rise going on Beru, because he's gonna give you always an SS rank, at max level, he's gonna give you 293.37 billion damage per second, each of them, which is gonna give you in the trillions of damage per second in total. Now, do keep in mind, of course, it's very hard to arise in SS character in the raids, but this is really what you should try and do. You're gonna want to go from leveling city, get some Lagralgans at high rank or end soldiers at a really high rank, get Lagralgans from dungeons, try and get the end soldier either from raids, because that's the only way to get the end soldiers. Go to Grass Village, try and wait for a Grass Village dungeon, go for, to be honest, Black Crow at a high rank, and try and get lucky with getting some high rank doors from Grass Village. And make sure to do these like dungeons with some friends, because it's gonna really help you out with the damage, and just like sharing, getting like higher ranked units, it's way more fun that way. Trust me. There's always some people putting some private servers, I think in the official Discord, where they are calling for help for some dungeons. So also make sure to look through those, because that's really gonna help yourself out as well as them, of course. But the main thing, go for light admirals. Try and farm a lot of them. E, D, C, B, A, and S of the light admiral. And then once you get a few SS light admirals crafted, wait for these raids to spawn again and try and get your first raid started with some people. Now, to get credit at Beru, which means you are going to be able to try and arise them, you want to do around 5% of the damage from what I've seen. So that should be around like 30 trillion damage. Now, if you do have 4 light admirals, let's say, at that SS level rank, you're going to be able to do 220 billion damage per second, which means you should be at 1 trillion damage in 5 seconds. And once again, that means to do that 30 times, you're going to have to do like damage to a Beru for like 2 minutes and 30 seconds straight. Now, this should be pretty much doable in like some servers. There are some servers that are really grindy where they like kill the boss quite a few times instantly. But I would still advise you to try these raids out. And if you still don't get the chance to like get enough damage out on those units, try and just farm more tickets. That's really important, because farm those tickets, and when you watched my like Game Pass guide as well, get this extra equip one. And try if you farmed even more light admirals after that, because as you can see, these are like my old light admirals, and that's really how I progressed to this, because that's how I now ended up with all these like SS Berus. With the +3 equip is when your damage is gonna ramp up. Really, you only are gonna get these tickets from doing the dungeon runs. So please make sure to do these dungeons. They're really gonna help you out. They're gonna increase your rank. No, ranks do not increase from leveling. Really important. They only increase from the like higher ranked level dungeons where you arise those units specifically from. And really, you don't even need to head to face heal after like you got your light admiral set. I just want you to try and get that damage going on Beru once a raid spawns. Now, you do get a higher chance when he spawns at a higher level health, because he's not gonna get like instantly killed. So really just try to focus on like your end goal of getting SS light admirals and then trying your first Beru out. So to recap really quickly on what you should do: leveling city, Lagarl guns and soldiers, get those to a high rank, use them in your team because they're gonna do the most damage for you in the beginning. Then what you want to try and do is get some high ranked Black Crows or doors from the Grass Village and move over to Brum Island. Now with those high ranks, you want to try and farm some light admirals, maybe even some Myth-Falcons from the Brum Island, but definitely just try to get your light admirals to SS, and then you can start your journey of trying your first Beru raid out. And of course, getting the chance to arise him. But don't neglect dungeon runs. Get those tickets as well, because you really want to get this extra equip. Like, do not sleep on it. It's really important that you get this, just for also the extra damage that you're gonna get, but also the possibility of getting your credits, because the 5% credit or like 30 trillion credit that's needed on Beru to get your first arise is really important, because otherwise you cannot arise him. And that's kind of the easiest progression guide for like the beginners starting this game, to make sure you get yourself settled on trying your first Beru raid out. You can like really sleep on these like earlier units once you get the last units from an index at a higher rank, because you're not gonna focus on getting the first 2 units to a higher rank. You're mostly just gonna want to focus on trying to get the last units on your index on a higher rank. And your end goal here is just to try and get your light emeralds there to a high SS rank. And that's it. That's really what you should be focusing on. And then you can definitely try and get your first Beru raid out of the way. That's definitely how I did it. When I got my +3 equipped Game Pass, I only had 3 extra doors on my team that I actually now sold because I didn't need them, because those doors were only of S rank and didn't really offer me that much extra damage potential. This is the path I walked. This is also the path I would really recommend you guys to walk if you're a beginner in a Rise crossover and really want to get your first Beru out of the way. Okay, that's the main shadow progression you should be focusing on to get yourself settled with some very nice Berus in your team, because this can be you. Alright, that's it. I hope you like this little short tutorial on the shadow progression in Arise crossover if you're a beginner. Now, if you of course have any other questions, please make sure to come by on the official Arise crossover Discord, or you can join our Discord as well. We have a Arise crossover channel there as well, but make sure to also join the official one. Head over to the questions channel. Don't feel afraid to ping me. I will try and answer your questions if you have any. Now, if you liked this guide, then make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I hope to see you in a next new Arise crossover video. Thank you for watching.